Hi, Gary Byrne, P&E Products. I want to talk to you a little bit about assembling your mat stacks or your logo stack system. You probably get two crates, one a larger crate with the uprights and the tops and the bases, another smaller crate with the shelf trays themselves and the shelf supports. The first thing you probably should need to do is to unpack the large crate with all the uprights, and that's where you need to start your assembly operation. And what you'll find some of the uprights themselves will have blue bases already attached to them. Those are your expansion sections. The other uprights just have blank ends on it. There'll be a larger hole at the bottom and a smaller hole at the top. There's the up actually stamped into the slot here, so you know which direction they are. These will be attached to the base itself and the top for the anchor section frame. Now let me show you this. This is the anchor section base. It actually lays on the floor itself. This is the anchor section top frame. You can see the tangs coming down here. There'll be two screws that screw the top section at all four corners into the uprights. The hardware, generally the hardware is in the smaller crate. We can kind of hide it in between the shelf supports. What you'll need basically is a driver with a Phillips head, probably at least one ratchet. 1/4 inch is fine. There's not much torque. I like to use an extension because you can get up in there. Sometimes you have to wiggle it around a little bit. The screw that attaches the upright to the base is a little button head screw with a 5/32 hex. So it's kind of handy to have either part of an Allen wrench or one of these little guys that's actually the hex head that's mounted into a socket. This one's 1/4 inch. You need to either tighten it with this one or hold this one while you tighten the nut. It's a nylock nut that actually comes in from the back side inside the upright and holds the base onto the upright frame. The top of the anchor frame, anchor section, gets held in place with self-drilling sheet metal screws. You'll need a nut driver for that. Normally it's 5/16. The anchor or the X braces that support the back require 4 screws. Sometimes they'll come with a 1/4 inch hex with a Phillips in the middle. Sometimes they come with just the Phillips in the middle. So you might need to have handy a 1/4 inch nut driver as well. I'm going to take a little break here. Assembling the anchor section is easier with 2 guys or 2 people. And I'll just kind of walk you through a couple of quick things here. Then we'll go away and I'll assemble it, and we can work on installing the shelves. If you lay your base, your anchor section base on the ground, the uprights with no base on them will fit right down on top of the angle iron. There's 2 little angles welded on the base frame that the upright bars actually sit right down on that angle. And then you put a screw, one of the button head screws, in the hole at the base, put a nut on, go back and do the same. Have your helper hold this side, and then you can do the same on this side here. And then once you get both sides up, it's easier to attach the top if the frame is laid over. So when you get the top screwed on there, lay the frame over, and then you can attach the top. So. Once you have the base and top on your anchor section, you can begin putting in the shelves. Each shelf has a support in the front and the back. The particle board side goes up. The first one you want to put right at the very bottom, on the front and the back. There's a little ear on the shelf support itself that slides down over the tabs. Every 2 inches you'll find them on the upright itself. Once you have the first upright in, get a shelf tray, and I found it's easier to kind of bow them up a little bit when you put them in. It kind of clears the sides as you're inserting them. Get the tray set on the upright shelf or the support shelves themselves, or the shelf supports, and then you can center them front to back, and then shoot 2 screws into the particle board in the front and the back. Once the shelf tray is secured with screws, you can continue up. Always start at the bottom. If you count up 4 tabs, or 2, 4, 6, 8, 8 inches, that's the site, the spacing that you should have with your logo stacks. Insert the shelf tray. Make sure it's centered up. And attach it with the screws. Continue adding shelves up in that fashion until you reach the top, get it all done. Then if you like, you can attach the X-brace. The X-brace is riveted together, and you will find some holes similar to these along the back. You just find the right holes to match. And square it up, shoot the screws in it, and you're good to go. After you've completed this one, then you can start attaching the expansion sections. Now it's helpful to have one of your helpers hold it in position and attach it with some of the shelf supports just to keep it stable. Now once you get it kind of stabilized, square it up a little bit, line it this way. And then we can start attaching the, excuse me for a minute, I had when my braces was bent down. You fill this in the same fashion. You start at the bottom, the very bottom rung, front and back. Place it in a shelf tray. Then attach it with the screws, front and back, and then add the second one all the way out. In 2, 4, 6, 8. 4 tabs is 8 inches. Shelf supports, now add the shelf tray again. After this expansion is completed, you move to the next one. And just continue on down to complete your installation. Once you get onto it, it goes pretty quickly. So if you have any questions, you give us a call. Thank you.